Good morning. We start with cycling action. We are joined in studio now by Till Drocisch, winner of yesterday's Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge. The 947 is the biggest mass participation cycle event in Johannesburg, and it was the 19th running of the annual event. Now, a record 33,000 people participated this year on the new, more challenging route. Well, clearly for you, Till, it wasn't that challenging because you made mincemeat of it.
It was still challenging for me. Just because you win it doesn't mean it's not hard for you. Everyone suffers the same. Everyone feels the climbs. It hurts for everyone, but obviously it hurt the others more.
So this was your first time participating, and what was it like? And is this your first big win, or have you had others bigger than this one?
I've had a few small-ish wins. I won the under-23 tour last year here in South Africa. I've had one race that I won abroad in France, but I think this is actually the biggest race in terms of participants and the whole media around it that I've won.
Now, this is quite interesting. Apparently, the competition didn't see you coming, and you didn't think you were going to take this title.
No, not at all, because firstly I was injured in September and was actually coming back from injury. So my form is not the greatest at the moment, and also we have two really strong teammates which I was actually supposed to work for, and if you work for those teammates, your chances of winning the race yourself are not as great as if you have a whole team behind you. But then the situation changed because the breakaway stayed away from the peloton, and we had a change of plans and had to improvise.
Okay, so obviously this is a new route for the 947 Cycle Challenge. Could you just give people quickly a summary of the route and how hard was it? Because all we knew was, what we saw on the graphics and things, and there was a lot more climbs, a lot more challenging in that respect. And for the average cyclist, the novice cyclist, getting out of the starting blocks and already up a hill is already going to take its toll on them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't compare it to the ones before because I've never done it before. This is my first time, but it's a fairly hard route. It's never really flat. It's either uphill or downhill, and after a while you get really tired because it's those uphills, they bite. They have some bite in the legs, and especially the last 10 kilometers. It's about three quite long and steep hills. And I think especially for guys that don't cycle every day, it's quite tough, especially in the last kilometers when you're tired already.
Okay, then just looking at the actual last 20 kilometers, because that's apparently where you made the difference and you started your crucial attack. What happened at that point? What was your strategy?
Well, my strategy was I didn't actually have a real strategy. We were 3 guys from our team in the breakaway, but the other teams, most of them also had 3, or one team even had 4 riders. And at first we only wanted to work well together so we stay ahead of the peloton so that they don't catch us, because if they catch us, most probably none of us is going to win. And then in the last 20 kilometers, things got a bit different. People started attacking, and I was actually thinking of helping my other teammate who was also in the breakaway, who was also quite a strong climber, and just see how long I could stick up the climbs, because I wasn't really sure how my form was. So I was just actually hoping I could stay there as long as possible to help my other teammate, and then. Well,
you took the title.
I took the title. Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's just look at the team that you're in. You're in the eNCA feeder team.
Yes.
That's not the professional team that competes overseas, and they're not allowed to participate in these local competitions. How does that structure work?
The professional team is only allowed to race in kind of UCI sanctioned races. The UCI is the International Federation. And so this is kind of a fun event, I would say, and it would be unfair for the other riders if the pros could ride, because they would probably win all of it, and that's what the Cycling Federation is trying to avoid. And we are also not allowed to do those big races. Like, for instance, if MTN Quebec gets invited to the Tour de France, they could actually get invited, but the feeder team, which is kind of the development team of the pro team, we could not do it. There's no chance we would get invited because we're still amateur.
Now, Till, I understand also that you have been signed, you're on your way to Europe, and you've been signed by a French team. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I've decided that I want to stay one whole year in France and experience the racing there. I've actually raced in France quite a lot before, but you need the cycling center is in Europe and the racing is there. So if you have to get used to the circumstances there, and there's no other way than by staying there. So I'm gonna join a French team called Nantes Atlantic for next year, and it's really well known actually in France. It has a good reputation, and I'm really happy.
Well, we certainly wish you everything of the best, and I'm sure we'll see you in years to come wearing that yellow jersey at the Tour de France. Well, we're hoping.
I hope so, yeah. Thanks.
Good luck. Well, that was Till Drobisch, winner of yesterday's Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge. And